Hello, Alabama. I dug up an article from earlier this year that suggested Carson Beck was possibly considered for Bama, but with Simpson now discredited and leading Alabama, it wouldn't make any sense for Beck to be at Bama. Let's talk about that. Simpson is a role model at Bama today. After waiting patiently for 3 years behind stars like Bryce Young and Jalen Milroe, he's finally taking over his QB role and showing the country that the program's future is in good hands. And with the growing enthusiasm surrounding his name, even for the Heisman Trophy, it's even more evident why the idea of Carson Beck being considered by Alabama in the past simply never made sense. Let's start with the obvious. Simpson is playing at an impressive level, completing 70.3% of his passes, accumulating 1,478 yards, throwing 13 touchdowns, and only 1 interception. He's been an efficient machine under Kalen DeBoer. His performance is not only consistent but also dominant. He's thrown at least 2 touchdowns in every game he started this season and surpassed the 250-yard mark against Power 4 opponents. These numbers place Simpson among the best quarterbacks in the country, with a QBR that ranks 13th nationally. Given this, it's hard to imagine that Alabama, or any other program, should have brought in Carson Beck. After all, Alabama skimped on that too. It's worth remembering that Simpson is not only a talented player, but also someone who embodies the winning mentality that defines Alabama. He spent 3 years learning from some of the best quarterbacks of the modern era of college football, absorbing lessons on how to lead an elite team and handle the constant pressure that comes with wearing a Crimson Tide uniform. Now, he's translating all of this onto the field, proving that his patience and dedication have paid off. Simpson's rise to the national stage isn't just a surprise to some analysts. It's the inevitable result of a carefully planned process by the program. On the other hand, the past idea of Carson Beck at Alabama seemed more like a strategic public relations move than a genuine sports consideration. The USA Today reports suggesting that Alabama attempted to contact Beck, even if it did, lacks practical logic. First, Beck entered the transfer portal with a do not contact tag, indicating he already had a destination in mind, something quickly confirmed by his later commitment to Miami. Second, Alabama doesn't usually waste time on speculation when it already has a player of Simpson's caliber. Finally, the alleged past connection to Beck seemed more like an attempt to inflate his market value. Another important point is that if Kalen DeBoer were truly concerned about the quarterback position, he would have acted more decisively and strategically in the transfer portal. But the fact that Alabama hasn't made any significant moves at the time reinforces the program's confidence in Simpson, even before its time. He's not just the guy for this season. He's the future of the Crimson Tide offense. And this is where the Heisman Trophy story comes in. While Carson Beck and Dante Moore are leading the race, as Aaron Taylor pointed out, Simpson is quickly gaining ground. His combination of passing accuracy, defensive reading ability, and quiet leadership on the field makes him a legitimate candidate. Furthermore, the timing seems perfect for Alabama to have a quarterback back in the Heisman conversation, something that further cements the program's image as an unshakable powerhouse. The idea of Carson Beck at Alabama simply shouldn't have even been considered, I think. Simpson has already proven himself to be the right man to lead the Crimson Tide offense, and his meteoric rise only reinforces the wisdom of keeping him on the roster. While Beck continues his life in Miami and other quarterbacks are finding their way onto the national radar, Simpson is writing his own story in Tuscaloosa, and that's pretty cool. 5-star Alabama running back E.J. Crowell once again turned heads with another performance that blended power, skill, and field presence. Every week, it seems like Crowell finds a way to leave Crimson Tide fans speechless, and his latest run was no exception. After going viral with plays reminiscent of Saquon Barkley, this time the Jackson High School junior decided to channel his inner Derrick Henry showing that strength and vision can combine in a virtually unbeatable way. Last Thursday night, Crowell practically ran through the opposing defense on his way to the end zone, scoring one of his 4 touchdowns in a display of power reminiscent of the great running backs who passed through Tuscaloosa. Despite carrying the ball only 7 times, Crowell racked up an impressive 102 yards and 4 touchdowns, reinforcing what was already known. He's a rare talent, and his ability to turn a few opportunities into huge productions only heightens the anticipation surrounding his future at Alabama. This season, the running back has accumulated 1,290 yards on just 99 carries, with 17 touchdowns, numbers that reflect not only his physical ability, but also his precocious maturity on the field. For a kid who should still be a high school junior, these feats are simply extraordinary. Crowell not only excels individually, but his decision to reclassify to the 2026 class demonstrates a confidence and ambition few players possess. He officially concluded his recruitment last weekend, confirming his commitment to Alabama, and is now preparing to make an immediate impact. Unlike many rookies who need time to adapt, Crowell is expected to enter Tuscaloosa ready to compete for carries and contribute directly to the Crimson Tide's offense. His playing time next season will largely depend on how quickly he masters pass protection and blocking, but his raw talent is already evident. For Alabama fans, Crowell's arrival rekindles memories of an era of elite running backs that defined the program, from Mark Ingram and Trent Richardson to Derrick Henry and Josh Jacobs. In recent years, the Tide has been missing a player capable of dominating the backfield with such impact, and E.J. Crowell emerges as the natural solution. Next season's running back group already shows promise. Jam Miller, even in his final season of eligibility, is still a reliable resource. Kevin Riley, a freshman backup, has proven to be a pleasant surprise, and A.K. Deere has shown flashes of talent when given his opportunities. With Crowell joining the fray, the Crimson Tide form a formidable trio capable of maintaining the position's historic level and giving Coach Kalen DeBoer the tools to further exploit the team's offensive strength. If there's one thing Tuscaloosa needs right now, it's exactly what E.J. Crowell brings: explosiveness, power, and that feeling that every play can become something memorable. There's no denying the power of Jalen Hurts' words, a player who carries with him not only the weight of the Philadelphia Eagles jersey, but also the teachings of one of the most respected figures in college football, Nick Saban. The former Alabama coach, known for his rigorous discipline and his philosophy of winning in the fourth quarter, seems to have left an impression on Hurts, even after his departure from Tuscaloosa many years ago. And now, as the Eagles face the first turmoil of a promising season, the quarterback returns to the fundamental lessons learned from Saban, seeking to adjust his game and lead his team back to winning ways. The loss to the Denver Broncos the other day was painful, especially because the Eagles had a chance to seal the victory in Hurts' hands. However, the offense stopped working at crucial moments, something the quarterback himself acknowledged as a personal failing. This self-criticism reflects exactly the kind of mindset Saban cultivates in his players: the responsibility to lead, to be the pillar when everything is at stake. It's no wonder that Hurts, even after years away from Alabama, still looks to Saban for guidance. The maxim of winning the fourth quarter isn't just a motivational phrase. It's a philosophy deeply ingrained in the culture of the Tuscaloosa program, where emotional control and flawless execution in decisive moments are treated as absolute priorities. It's interesting to see how this mentality applies to the professional arena. The Eagles have talent, no doubt. They're among the top 10 teams in the NFL in points scored this season. But as Hurts pointed out, detail and consistency still need to be honed. This is something Saban constantly emphasizes: mastering the basics, executing the little things perfectly. In modern football, where the margins between victory and defeat are slim, these details make all the difference. And Hurts, reflecting on the setback against the Broncos, demonstrates remarkable maturity in recognizing that the problem lies not just in the big mistakes, but in the small flaws accumulated throughout the game. The relationship between Hurts and Saban continues to be an important bridge between Alabama and the NFL. It's clear that Nick Saban still plays a significant role in his former player's life, offering advice that transcends the football field. When Hurts mentions that it's always good to get good guidance from him, we realize this connection goes beyond the technical aspect. It's a relationship of trust, where the player knows they can turn to their mentor for clarity and perspective. For Saban, this is more than a simple exchange of ideas. It's a continuation of his mission to develop leaders, even when they're no longer directly under his control. Returning to the Broncos game, it's clear that the Eagles' offense needs to find ways to be more resilient in the final moments. Allowing an opponent to score 18 points in the fourth quarter is something that cannot happen again if the team hopes to make the playoffs and, perhaps, compete in the Super Bowl. Hurts is right when he says that defeat offers an opportunity for growth. The ability to learn from mistakes is a fundamental characteristic of any great team, and the Eagles have all the tools to bounce back. It's worth remembering that Alabama, under Saban, has also faced difficult times over the years. But what sets Tuscaloosa teams apart is resilience, the ability to refocus and move forward. This mentality seems to be present in Hurts, who, even in the face of a bitter defeat, maintains the attitude of someone determined to improve. He's not just thinking about himself, but about how he can help the team evolve as a whole. Football is a game of adjustments, perseverance, and a winning mentality. And with Jalen Hurts leading the Eagles' offense under Nick Saban's guidance, there's good reason to believe this team still has a lot to accomplish. Share your thoughts.